Hello guys and welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel. If this is your first time here, my name is Marty and today we are back with another episode of Severance, episode 2 of season 2. I really enjoyed the first episode of this season and I had so much to say about it, and also going through the behind the scenes, the little bits that I could find about the opening of it, and then everything that I think about Helly in this. Basically, I think Helly could be maybe her outie Ellie. Could be wrong. Maybe I've picked up on cues that aren't really there and they're just, what I think. But anyway, without further ado, if you want to check out the full uncut reaction to this, you can see it over on the Patreon page or as a YouTube member as well. That's for all of the episodes of Severance, whether it's for this season or the previous season. Also, one last thing really quickly is don't forget to stick around until after the reaction itself when I go through my thoughts on it, and then I also get to review the podcast for this specific episode. Oh, and also, yes, this is my keycard for Lumon. But yes, without further ado, this is episode 2 of season 2 of Severance. Oh, so we get...
Okay.
Where?
So this is his outie coming back.
So this is you now?
Yeah.
What's my name?
Persephone.
Can you spell that?
Never.
Devon? Persephone? Maybe that is her name. He's probably like, why am I holding a picture of my wife? And I hope we're going to get answers. Still blows my mind.
Fetid moppet.
What?
Father?
Fetid moppet?
I'll have someone from the floor liaise with the outies.
I need to find out who they talk to.
She's like the cleanup crew, or she's, putting into action like a cleanup crew. Hi. It's so interesting seeing it from this side of
I
things.
need you to go see all of them. Find out every word they said.
Shall I fire them?
Let Kier guide your hand.
Of course.
So wait, she's in charge of him? So she's the... What? Also interesting that we're seeing inside the building from the outside. It's Cabell.
Please, sit.
There was that bit where it was her
We've
innie.
commandeered the footage taken by guests. Natalie is already doing outreach to media. And the Severance employees who were involved are being dealt with.
What?
Thank you for acting so quickly. You saved us from disaster.
Will Mr. Egan be joining?
Just me. I personally owe you a debt of gratitude.
It cost me dearly.
And still you proved your loyalty tonight.
Such an interesting shot, that one, a second ago.
Which is why we'd like to ask you back.
Is that why her name is still on the computer?
An apology is warranted.
Okay.
I apologize. My father apologizes. The board apologizes. We've treated you poorly. I'm sorry.
I welcome your contrition.
I'm so glad.
So she is coming back.
There's much damage to control. We start by scouring the feed, and I need to interview Dylan G. How he gained access to
We
the...
have something else in mind.
What?
We'd like to offer you a promotion.
Oh, that's why she's not the role she was.
Severance Advisory Council.
Oh, she's part of the council. So she won't be interacting with Mark?
I never heard of such a thing.
Yeah.
It's a brand new initiative.
Made up a job.
We'll be spearheading its formation. Your expertise is greatly valued.
Which is why I should be running the severed floor.
Mr. Milchick has been promoted to floor manager.
She is gonna hate that.
You don't value me.
Oh, a nice bite.
You fear me.
We fear no one. If we didn't hold you in such high esteem, we wouldn't be making this generous offer.
No, you just want to keep her stum about stuff. Keep her sweet.
I'll put some thought to it.
Mr. Drummond will see you out.
I don't need an escort.
Beautiful cinematography. That face. Also the cut back between the bike and this. It's just perfection. Like the switchover of jobs between her and him.
Ready?
Earlier this evening, at an event where I was excited to share my status as a severed individual with a group of friends and allies, I made the poor decision to consume alcohol while on a non-lumen medication for...
He's at Irving's
This
place.
had an inebriating effect, which caused me to say some deeply regrettable things.
Mr. Milchek,
Yeah.
Apologies for the hour.
is everything all right?
How's your night been, Mr. Bailiff?
Fine. They're showing Barbara of Seville on TV, so I've just been here.
And you're feeling well?
He's gone to check up to sweep up.
What did I eat in there?
Need to know if anything of note occurred. Anything at all.
No, nothing.
Why don't you tell me what's going on, Mr. Milchek?
I've been reminded just how seriously my family's company affects the lives of real people around the world.
She's doing an apology video.
You know your innie is a friend of mine.
No, he's not.
Approve of me saying so. And he's a man of principle, which is rare, which is what makes this so difficult.
What? Firing?
You're firing me.
When Lumen falters, workers and their families who suffer first.
But we saw them back. What?
So for the fear and insecurity this has caused, I must sincerely atone.
Or did they then force them to come back?
Altercation with another employee this evening. It was brief but violent, and I regret to say that you were the aggressor. Wait, I'm afraid we've no choice but to terminate your employment.
Distrust of Lumen has been sadly endemic since its founding. My words provided more fuel for pernicious hate.
Great way that they can just end people's contracts because they won't know.
When I said my innie was being tortured,
What am I supposed to tell my wife?
this was a joke and a lie.
A joke about being tortured. Okay, if you say so.
I am committed to this company with every part of me. But I'm also human.
Look, even the roundabout is Lumen teardrop. Oh, not roundabout, a junction.
And just like you.
Like cul-de-sac type thing, that's what I was thinking. Oh wait, is this a... Oh, we've got a new intro! Hey, made by Extra Wake 2. Do you think he's gonna see himself like we saw in the background of one of the shots? Oh. Interesting that every time we are seeing him, he's in his outie red gear. Because he's more his outie self than his innie self now. Like, he's more aware, that's what I mean. Huh? Oh, I don't like that ending. Oh, his other self peeking out from inside.
The baby, reckon. This wasn't its fault.
It's a lovely shot.
I'm not the only one who heard you say it. It's like I made this up. So you said she's alive. I'm trying to help you.
I really did feel it was clear you were referencing the baby. Patton had just saved her, and I think that your workie was excited. I have to say, Mark, he really is a jewel.
Obviously, I was referencing the baby. Okay?
Yes. No, yeah, I agree. I think Rickon is right.
Devon knows, though.
You find this picture, and then when Patton found Eleanor, you still had it with you. I think it's the only thing that makes sense.
Eleanor was in the study because...
Mrs. Selvig left her in there, or Cobell, whatever.
Co-Belvig would be a helpful nomenclature.
Selvig.
She's a lie really was about the baby.
And you don't think it was?
I do think it was.
Then why are you saying it like that?
It's been a weird fucking night, Mark.
Oh my God.
Why are you getting aggressive with me right
They
now?
are like brother and sisters. Funny.
Mark's workie went to great lengths to awaken himself, to alert us to abuses. He was inspired by my book. He found great meaning in it, profundity.
It's like I read it.
I'm trying to help you.
I'm just trying to get...
Oh, is it going to be Trammell? Yeah.
Seth Milchek from Lumen. I imagine you have a few questions.
Oh, you could say that.
May I sit with you?
Right this way.
You must be Devon.
That is a magnificent helmet.
What happened tonight is what we call the overtime contingency.
Look at that
It's
shot.
a safeguard we employ if we ever need to access your work personage off company grounds.
Yeah, you never told me about this.
Disclosure can be found in your start paperwork. 39 minutes. Any mark was here, in this house.
We know.
I know, I talked to him.
Yep.
What did he say to you?
None of your business.
If I tell you, are you going to punish him for it?
We have no punishments at Lumen.
Sure.
I can only imagine how violated you feel.
Speaking of violations, I was wondering how common it is for your managers to commit f***ing lactation fraud against their employees' families. Pretty common?
Miss Cobell.
Yeah.
She is quite severely unwell.
She lives next door to me. I, know her.
And her behavior at Lumon seems to be the source of your innie's distress.
Really?
She will never descend to that floor again.
Really? That's what you're gonna say?
The devil you out here. But we do need to know what we're dealing with. Is there anything you can tell me?
Don't.
I mean, no. We're very tired. Said all there is to say.
I hope to see you Monday.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Oh.
What your innie did tonight was completely unauthorized. It was also very brave.
What do you mean it was very brave?
I'd hate to reward his courage with non-existence.
Stop trying to twist his arm. How was that brave? How was that supposedly meant to be brave? Still want to know what this is all about. Love the shots in this. And they love these melancholic slow fades. Yeah.
You think we're about to meet our spouses? Maybe it's each other. That'd be a hoot.
Am I right in thinking she is? She is her outie self and she's learning how she acts with him.
Okay. In case we don't come back. In case we do. In case we don't come back. In case we do.
That's a really lovely shot. Perfectly, well, it probably wasn't perfectly timed. They probably filmed both separate and then merged the two, but almost every shot in this episode, like that, every shot in this episode is so gorgeous. Contemplative. Last night was weird. Can I buy you some some diner food?
Oh, well, a young man. The old man.
Perfectly timed. It's so interesting seeing their daily outie lives.
Be cool. You are so awesome. Smile.
Take it this is them finding another job. Yeah. Isolated shots again.
Ask about benefits. There's a coffee maker. I meant healthcare benefits. For you, your family. I think this is going to be a really great fit for me, Mr. Saliba. Ever since I was a kid, I've always felt like doors. How old were you when you knew you loved doors? 5.
I know it's to do with doors, but it's such a random...
If you could be any kind of door, what would it be?
A petition door. Because you can split your mind then.
Pocket, doing your door thing. When you're not needed, you can just tuck yourself away. Did I finish your eggshell?
Eggshell.
Semi-gloss. That's hot. You remind me of me, Dylan.
Mirrored shots as well.
You like kickball? Do I follow it professionally? We play on Fridays. There's a fun prize if you win. You mean a door prize? Sorry. A lot of short-term employment, and then Lumon, and they make their doors in-house. It's f***ing hubris. I was a severed employee, so...
Yeah, so he has no idea what it was like inside.
You're a severed?
Yeah. Still currently severed.
Yeah, I was. It's just me here.
How does that work, though, if you're...
Thanks for coming in. What? We'll consider your application thoroughly.
What? They hate severed employees? What, because they could switch any time?
You're not considering me at all. That's discrimination. We need a certain kind of person here, Mr. George, not a certain kind of 2 people. What do you think this is, a carpet factory? What? You want to circumcise your brain, that's your business. But it doesn't mean I have to hire you. And
what?
I think it's abhorrent.
I mean, it is kind of weird. In some ways, the idea is cool, but wouldn't do it.
Read the room. I would have picked up the phone if it was good news.
Oh, I'm sorry. You'll get the next one.
Stop being nice. We need more baby wipies.
I don't think so.
I'll get some anyway. I'll be home soon.
Also, I recognise her voice, but I don't know why.
And what about Selvig? Have you heard from her?
Selvig.
Maybe there was a way we could confirm what your any meant.
Are you serious?
I know. Denise is a lawyer, and apparently you can petition.
I'm quitting.
I like how she's slightly, quietly pressing.
You're quitting?
Yeah.
Have you called them already?
No, I was gonna do it tonight.
Why did you wait?
Haven't you been trying to get me to quit that place since I got there? I thought I was finally doing what you want.
But don't you think that was strange last night? Why was he so curious?
Devin, what are you doing? You remember I identified her, right? I
Yeah.
saw her body.
Yeah, I know.
But if he identified her and saw the body, how Is she alive?
continues to haunt us. Do you know what I mean?
Us.
She was my family too, Mark.
Yeah, but she was my wife.
You're not the only one her death affected.
Oh, really? It affected you?
Yes.
She was like a friend to her, probably.
Did you have to tell her parents that she was dead? Did your sheets smell like her for weeks afterwards?
You'd have her clothes in the wardrobe.
If Rickon died and his body burned, I'd be sad for you, but I wouldn't be affected. This is obscene.
I just want to be sure.
I am sure.
There's a possibility that she could be alive. Surely you want to try that. I know he's trying to abandon the idea because he's like, no, in my mind, she's died. Oh. Just so artistic, look at that. Who's that? Is that guy again? Wait, does he know? I'm confused. How does he know him? Every time he tries to fix that light. Hi, Milchek. At this late hour.
Compliments of the company. We got off on the wrong foot last night. Okay to talk a minute?
No.
Yeah, come on in.
Kind of want Miss Cabell to look out and see him at the house. Be like, what are you doing here?
Still weighing whether to return to Lumon. I'd like to ask you a few questions that may inform your decision.
Okay.
Terrific. How happy are you with your current financial compensation? I ask because our endearment to you is such that a 20% bump is on the table should you return.
Oh, they really want them back, don't they?
Wow.
My second question is whether a full investigation into your Innie's claims and regular wellness checks from independent org would help you feel more excited to return.
I don't know. Is that what they're doing?
It's the first step of many. My third question concerns your late wife, Gemma.
Why? This is
What about her?
In your intake interview, you cited her death as a primary motivator for severing. You said since she died, every day feels like a year, that you felt like you were choking on her ghost.
I can get that.
Do you still feel that way, Mr. Scout?
Yes.
The Mark I've come to know at Lumon is happy. He cares for people, and he's funny.
He's my friend.
He knows nothing of the pain I see in you right now. He's found love.
Don't say this.
The solace you have given him down there will make its way to you. It just takes time. I hope you'll give us that time.
I know what they're saying. It's like his heart will heal because he's got another love. God, it's so difficult. He wants to go in, but he knows he'll probably go through more grief in the long run. Yeah. Now, to put the plan in place, if you are... He's the one I'm saying about.
Who are you bringing into MDR?
I've got a floater from overseas and a pair who were laid off from 5X. I had 48 hours to pull this together. Hopefully there will be some chemistry.
We need Mark S. back to work.
So they're doing it as like almost a setup.
Long enough to complete Gold Harbor.
Long enough to complete Gold Harbor.
Where is it?
There you go, yeah, the downward arrow. Upstairs shows a downward arrow and the down one shows an up. Okay.
Mr. Scout?
Good night, Judd.
There you go, that's the one where he supposedly walked out or let go.
Is the board on? It's Marquez from Macrodata Refinement. You want to do the right thing for severed people. I need to see my team again. They truly are the face of severance reform, as you say. Then they deserve a chance. Look, they're my friends. You can't just make them disappear.
Of course, I bear full responsibility.
The board's going to give him what he wants, including LER. He won't finish without them.
And they were able to just rope them back in.
3 days of work. Touch me. Give me another reason to sue. You, Lumon!
If it was near the end of the season, there was no snow, they would have to go and place snow on those like hillsides in the background and that. They could, you know, digitally add it in, but maybe they added some in digitally, but we didn't go in with him. Is this Do you know when he went in, when we saw them all appear, and then John Turturro, is this times exactly the same? Yeah. I'm so suspicious of her. Listen. We didn't hear the boom. So I think I was right. No, she's moving out.
Hey!
Hello, Mark. Just back from work.
Where do you think you're going?
What do you care?
What do I care?
He went to take the baby.
Who are you?
I thought you were quitting.
I trusted you. I told you what I'd gone through these past 2 years. You were in my house. I ate your shitty fucking cookies.
They convinced you to stay. Was a pineapple involved? You're so easy to sway.
You're leaving. You fucking kid.
No. Come on, Mark.
Why did you do this? What the is this all about?
He deserves to know.
Do you know something about Gemma?
That's obvious. The look down. I can only imagine what he would be going through. She's freaking crazy. All the more reason. Oh! I was gonna say, all the more reason to go back to Lumon and fight for what's going on there, because something is wrong. She knows about Gemma. Going to prove that she's alive was about Gemma. And Milchek came to the house, and what did he ask? What was his last question? About Gemma, specifically. Seems a bit odd. I mean, we all know. It's just so good. I think my massive standout thing with this episode, one was that Helly is now like she's the boss of Milchek, pretty much. I know we kind of found out sort of her status in the finale of season 1, but episode 1 didn't really put that across to me. Apart from me realizing that she wasn't her innie self, I don't think. And then this one, we had that close up on the lift doors and we did not hear the severing sound. You know, that glitchy sound. We didn't hear that, and we didn't hear the, I think there's like a switch over ding, which is a big hint, but we did fade off that shot. But there was enough time left on that shot to hear it, and we were very close to the doors. But now we've got Miss Cobell is in like a made-up position. We've got people lying about Gemma. By the way, some incredible cinematography in there. That was one of the massive standouts in there, because I think every single shot, and I know this show has some incredible shots. I think this one stood out because it was slower, so the story was able to naturally just evolve. It was very contemplative, melancholic for a lot of it, but it was just contemplative, and you were registering everything. I need to see if it timed well. I'll have to see if there's an example in a second, but to see the inner workings of Lumon, we've not had a huge amount of behind the scenes knowledge of stuff, whereas in this one we got loads. You found out also that if anything goes wrong, all they need to do is just visit their houses and go, well, something happened at work, we really can't take you back, I'm so sorry. Your outie person isn't going to know. The downside is with that is you're probably going to feel worse because you won't know why you've been let go, other than they can tell you, but you're going to feel really bad about it. But you didn't even do it, technically. Also, what's Operation Golden Harbour? That ending with Mrs. Selvig, Cobelvig, the emotion and the anger and everything at the end, obviously that gives a massive red flag to Mark of it being something to do with his wife. But one thing I can't understand, and I know that, you know, Gemma is alive, or Miss Casey is alive, but how did he identify Gemma's body but Miss Casey be alive? Unless Miss Casey is like a twin of her, or like a clone of her, or is Gemma just not dead and she's been made to believe that she's Miss Casey and there was a fake body that looked like Gemma, or prosthetics, or maybe they paid off the doctor? I don't know. How did he identify the body but yet she is alive? I love that there's such a juxtaposition between that first episode and this one. But one of the biggest things is Helly. Helly is like a massive focus now. It's great, don't get me wrong, and I love that there's more of an emphasis on Britt Lauer's character, but I much preferred that Helly as we know her. I think she works great as that. The big question is though, why is Helly pretending to be her innie? To get information from people, obviously, and to most probably get information from Mark himself. She can gather and gain information, can't she? And she's going to remember it all, potentially, if she's her outie self. Okay, one thing I want to do is I want to check out, I want to see, yes, I thought someone might have done it. Someone has put together the entrance scenes of both, and they've timed both together. I was going to do it myself, but I wanted to double check to see if anyone else had done it first. Okay, so this video was put together by Kevin Truong, and it's both lift scenes paired alongside each other. I don't know how I'm going to be able to play this for you guys. I'm probably going to have to speed it up or play it in bits, but... yeah, you can see the arrow differences there. Does it match up? So intricately timed with how many seconds between. Here we go. There you go. Yeah, we didn't hit, there was no Severance sound. So there we go. That was both timed together, and that really does work. I thought maybe they would match up. I didn't realize how well they did match up. On the production side of things, that must have been so incredibly well timed to match up the timing. I wonder how they did that. I had like 14 seconds here to do this and such amount of seconds here to do this, and then have to match it all. I wouldn't be surprised if they had almost the other episode, probably didn't, but if they had the other episodes on like a tablet and then they could match it up together and say, right, okay, and you're coming out now. Yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed this episode. It was a lot more visual for me than, yes, there was loads of storyline going on in there, but I love the visual side of this episode. And it was great seeing the characters just soak in the environment and what they needed to feel in that moment. Whereas quite often, it feels like we'll go from one thing straight into another thing on Severance. Whereas in this episode, I felt like it was given room to breathe. I know a lot of this episode for me came down to my thoughts on Helly. And there's some really interesting takes on the outside environment to do with Lumon, because that guy, when Dylan went to apply for the job, he was really pally with him. And then he told him he used to work at Lumon. And the guy spoke down to him and was quite rude, to be fair. He found the idea of Severance to borrow, and that was it. Thoroughly enjoyed this, guys, and I really hope you enjoyed that episode. So many questions. I'm hoping in the next episode they will actually be answered, and maybe we'll get some questions answered from the podcast itself. Don't forget, if you want to see the full uncut reaction, you can see it over on the Patreon page or as a YouTube member as well. But I think it's about time that we head on out of work and we go and listen to episode 2's podcast, and I let you know my thoughts on it. Let's go.
Hello guys, hope you're doing well. I hope you're having a lovely day, and I am out currently just having a little drive around and realizing that the camera is still just not right. Like, I cannot seem to get something that fits in place correctly for doing these videos. So apologies that it is a bit all over the place with the camera placement, but you can still see me. I've just got a very Dutch angle to this. I'm using like an old phone holder. That's what I've been constantly using to get this thing to work correctly the way it is. But one slight move and we're done for, so fingers crossed.
Editing Marty, just cutting into the video here. I don't know why, by the way, but I appear to have cut myself. I think I fell over at work. I don't know, they gave me this card, it's somewhere around here. It was for Pips. I think I must have like fallen on something. They said not to worry about it, and they just gave me the card and said, here's a compensation for it. Yeah, it was really interesting. But yeah, I cut myself, and I don't know how I did it. It's just there. Genuinely don't know how I did it. all skit type stuff aside.
It was great to see it from the outie's perspective instead of the innie's perspective. I've just realised that I did some driving instructing, not driving instructing, I did my driving tests around it. It was really eerie seeing Britt Lauer doing Helena instead of Helly, because she's so different to what we've been used to seeing throughout the rest of it. By the way, I'm so sorry that I'm in like the side of the camera. I'm not in the full main focus of the camera. She's great at changing the way she acts. Oh, by the way, the podcast for the next one, Gwendolyn Christie on it, she is utterly balmy. If you get a chance to listen to this and the next one, check them out, because her laughing is utterly insane, and I love it. What I thought was Jamie Egan, Jame, is actually Jame Egan. It sounds like Jane, which I was a little confused at. I was thinking, why does it sound like he's saying Jane every time? And I had to look up what he was specifically saying in the podcast.
And we get to see that there's this new character that Dari Olafsson plays, who's sort of seems like he's an important person there, who helps bring in Jane Egan when they talk. And we see a new space, some sort of a conference room. And it just was fun to sort of introduce this other world for the first time.
But when they refilmed the entrances of them coming into the building, seemed almost perfectly timed. And it's funny, in the episode of the podcast, they do make mention of, I reckon this people are gonna, people need to time this, because apparently when they filmed it, they did actually try to correctly time it when they filmed it. They weren't sure if they got it 100% correct, but they did time it for the filming process, which is amazing. There you go. Look, Dutch angle. Told you, it's gonna probably get worse as we go, but it's the best I can get. Oh, also, with that walk-in scene, with the entrance, we're seeing it from the outies point of view, and in the first episode we saw it as the innies point of view. They also make mention in the podcast about needing to stagger their entrances because of them obviously coming in at different times and not seeing each other. And obviously in the innie version, they had staggered their entrances.
I really enjoyed also the whole sequence of the first team coming back in episode 1, and then as you see them doing the same thing in episode 2, but coming into the locker room.
Yeah.
And Sam Donovan and I sort of collaborated on that because we knew that we wanted those shots to match each other.
Yeah.
And both shots are pretty much the same exact timings that we tried to get. And it was really fun watching Sam choreograph that scene, which I thought it was very complicated to do.
So what you're referring to specifically is the scene in episode 1 where everyone comes back and comes out of the elevator and we greet each one, matches the scene in episode 2 of them getting ready and entering the elevator from their lockers.
Supposedly. I've never really actually checked it, though we did try to get the timings right when we shot it.
Yeah.
But somebody probably will do a YouTube of it.
Yeah, I'm sure someone will look into that for us.
Yeah, but it was really fun because, we had to figure out that shot for episode 1, and then Sam had to really figure out, it was complicated because it's really just one shot, and you see a new section of the locker room, Dylan's locker, and you have to believe that they're not seeing each other as they come in, and the timings are all staggered.
Yeah, it was hard to do.
Yeah, it was very challenging for both camera-wise and for the actors, and also to make it interesting, and I thought Sam did a great job with it.
I love doing stuff like that because it's just so satisfying when you do it, and it requires so much focus and sort of cooperation and concentration from everybody on set. And I don't know how many times we went through it, a lot, but when you finally get it, it's so satisfying and so much fun, and everyone celebrates, and it's great.
And also that makes me remember something else from this podcast episode as well. The whole thing about the 5 months total lie. If they lied, why did they lie, for one? Well, we kind of know why they lied, but if they lied about that, would they then lie about other things? Most likely, because they're not just going to stop at the one little lie, are they?
It was also fun in this episode to see how, what we learn about them having been out for 5 months, supposedly.
Yeah.
That's kind of not true at all.
That's kind of not true at all, yeah. I think it was just a couple of days.
Obviously, we kind of knew that, but when I first went in, you may have noticed that I was a little bit confused at the very beginning of this episode, of the previous episode. You'll notice I was probably a little bit confused and like, wait, five months? What the hell? Well, the reason why I was a bit confused is because I had it in my head that potentially this had really happened, 5 months had actually passed, and that, they had got other people in and he'd just been dormant all that time, just waiting to be brought back as an innie. And then I thought when they brought the team back that maybe, look, I didn't know what had happened to the rest of the team. I didn't think of, I thought, well, maybe they, fired the other people and then they brought them back, all those months later. But in my brain, I was also thinking, well, maybe there was like a time element. Maybe there is something extra to this world of Severance, to this Lumon building. Like maybe there's a Twilight Zone time thing at play, and that maybe they went back 5 months to the very point when he was taken from the timeline. Or I had loads of thoughts. I even thought, when we eventually see in the previous episode, because I don't think I even mentioned in that one, when we eventually see Helly back in it, who again, like I said, I think is Helena. As we're filming this, I've now seen all episode 8. So yeah, I've seen a lot more, which I'm trying to be very careful with what I say and what I don't say. Like, I'm keeping it very episode specific. But I remember ideas that I'd had back then when I watched the episode. When Helly says about the camera, I didn't even twig that at first. I know that's in the previous episode, but I didn't even twig that. And I wonder why, like, if she was the outie at that point, why would she make mention of that? I never even thought of that. Like, why would she have made mention of that then? Maybe she was her innie. I don't know. But anyway, when she makes mention of the camera thing, that was when I thought maybe they have replicated the floor of Severance on a different floor, as in the macrodata refinement floor, the MDR floor. Maybe they have replicated that on another floor, and maybe, just maybe, Helly, Dylan, Irving, all of them were working on the other floor, thinking that Mark just wasn't there. Do you know what I mean? And that Mark thought that 5 months had passed, that they were lying to Mark, but all the other workers were actually still on the floor, still working and doing their jobs. Do you know what I mean? They could have done that. That would have, let them do what they needed to do. But don't think that happened. But in my brain, that's what I was going, that could have been an idea. Trying to tread the fine line of not saying too much.
Like, where the 5 month thing comes into me is like, I mean, there's a couple reasons behind it, but one thing is there is just this intrinsic sense of, it's like, well, we're not punishing you for what happened, but just so you know, 5 months has passed. Like, you're now 5 months older. There's this sense of lost time that, it's not us. We would never punish you, but the consequence of your action is that now 5 months have passed. And just, that would be such a strange thing to suddenly learn. It's like, oh, I just lost half a year of time.
Yeah.
And so again, it's mind games and mind games with these guys.
And one thing I think we haven't seen enough of is we haven't seen enough of like the waffle party and what was it? What was the other one? The dance party. There was another one with the pineapple stuff. Oh, apparently the timing of the newspaper on the screen, by the way, was very specific. They apparently timed it to the moment, to time how long that would be on screen. Because apparently they wanted it to be just enough.
How did you come up with that idea of the Kier Chronicle?
Yeah, it feels so specifically Kier and Lumon to come up with this 5 month lie and then the bad Photoshop, all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, Lumon is always, telling the innies what they think they want to hear and showing them what they think they want to see. And it's like their approximation of what the workers want is often so clumsy and weird, in addition to being dark and sinister. That to me is where it gets really funny. And it's so funny to me that Lumon wrote the article and then redacted half of it. Like, half of the article that they themselves had written.
It's a mind game on top of a mind game.
It's mind games in mind games in mind games. And
also the
and
fact that Mark would actually might work on Mark S.
Yeah.
Because not because he's, not smart, just because of his world knowledge and his world view. And also the amount of time that Milchick lets him see it for is just kind of like pulls it out. Just.
I remember the amount, deciding on how long he lets me look at it. We really kind of tried to balance that perfectly. And it's timing wise, the way you and Jeff cut it, it's kind of perfect.
Okay, I decided to pull over where I used to sit for my videos, and it's lovely here. I got the sunset as well, which is gorgeous. I'll try and show you it. Hang on. Also, the growth of Mark Sidney from how he used to be to how he is now. When he would be confronted before, he would never say anything back to Miss Cobell, or maybe even to Milchick. Sorry, not Tramell. Same person. But he would never say anything. Whereas now, he does stuff like he did in the last episode when he says, I want to hear it from them. And then in this one, so I didn't make mention of that really too much in the last episode. I think I made mention of it a bit, but not a huge amount. But then in this one, we then hear it from the other side. Not that specific conversation, but you know the whole bit where he's on the tannoy, the intercom thing. And it's so impactful because we get to see it from the other side, this very cold, very clinical world.
But it's funny, I was watching the 8-minute sneak peek with my mom, and the moment where Mark goes, I'd like to hear it from them, she goes, yeah. Because it was it's like, that's something that any Mark in season 1 probably wouldn't have said.
By the way, did you know that Dan Erickson used to work at a door factory? Like Dylan goes to an interview at a door factory, yeah.
Dan, before we get to the voicemails, since you're here, we really want to talk about one specific scene from episode 2.
Okay.
Now, when we had you on from the first season, you told us that you used to work at a door factory. Yeah. And in this episode, we see Dylan interviewing at a door factory.
That was verbatim the exact interview that I actually had at the door factory, word for word.
Really?
No. It's very different.
I love how, he's just like, he really loves doors, this guy. He wants somebody working there who really cares about doors as much as he does.
And just the look of the scene, it's just really kind of beautifully composed, and how much Zach and Adrian look like each other. In real life, they don't really resemble each other all that much, but in these shots, you guys really lined them up so it almost looks mirror-like.
Yeah, Sam Donovan did a great job, and Jeremy Hindle, our production designer, created this space within this factory. It's actually, the location is in Brooklyn. It's actually, we shot a scene from Escape at Dannemora there too. And also Jeremy did this really cool thing where he had the doors on this sort of like assembly line, like hook. It reminds me of Monsters, Inc., where they're like kind of going by.
Yeah.
100%.
So that, I thought that was, it's such a funny scene to me watching that. And also how then he turns on him when he finds out he's severed.
Yeah.
The look when he finds out he's severed and he says, "You're a severed." And then also like the look when Dylan makes the door prize joke, and it's just this sort of, how dare you make light of this holy
slander.
Yeah, it was going so well until he said the wrong thing.
Yeah. It's always fun to just get a peek into the kind of the cultural reaction to Severance and how Severance is perceived in the outside world too.
Yeah,
that's something that's something I always love when we get to do, like similar to the non-dinner party in season 1, where it's like, how are people actually talking about this out in the world? What are the sort of public perceptions of it?
There's a really great part that I think I may have already included. I included the part, but I wanted to make mention of this very briefly, so you won't hear any podcast part after this. But there's a part in the door factory where we see the two opposite each other, and they are so identical in that shot. And obviously they say in the podcast that they're, in real life, they're not really that identical. It's just that they've made them look specifically mirrored in that shot with the doors behind them. But yeah, I really like the shot looking so mirrored, and the fact they even mention it in this, but I did like the way we could see the doors and that passing behind, and just like they mention, it was reminding me of Monsters, Inc. with the doors kind of passing by. They only make brief mention of that in there, but yeah, I'd also had those thoughts, but my main focus was trying to concentrate on the conversation. Did you know, this is a great fun fact in this, that Adam Scott, wears trainers when his feet aren't on screen. So if it's a shot of just like a close-up or, mid-shot and that, and his feet aren't in shot, his legs could even be in shot, but as long as his feet aren't in shot, he likes to wear trainers to keep himself more comfortable. So he's not in work shoes, in dress shoes all day long. I get that. That makes so much more sense, because if you do have these very, they're not uncomfortable for a short period of time, but if you're wearing them for, hours and hours and hours per day, which they are when they're on set, wearing things like brogues or, just very smart shoes are going to be painful. I remember going and doing, it was a wedding shoot at one point I did, and I was in a full suit, did this wedding shoot, but my shoes were brogues. And it was so painful by the end of the day because I must have been doing that shoot I was there as long as the guests. So I was there from the very beginning of the day till way past the end of the day. So people had gone home, they were packing down. I was still there because I was trying to help out to, clean up and everything like that. And then before the actual wedding itself, I was there and I was preparing things and, talking through things and, trying to get pre-shots of everything just so I had enough footage to use for the wedding video and for everything else I wanted to use it for. Yeah, so I was there for a long time. So I get very long days in dress shoes, and obviously if you've got very long work hours, which I've had jobs in the past who have had like 12.5-hour days, and they have been so intense, but when I've worn dress shoes, they are so uncomfortable by the end of the day. But yeah, he wears trainers when his feet aren't on camera. And apparently, Owen Wilson used to do the same thing as well when Ben Stiller used to work with him. Yeah, which is a fun little fact.
Wow. I figured out how to wear more comfortable shoes in season 2. Season 1 was just dress shoes for 10 episodes. And that really kind of takes a toll. And so season 2, I realized when my feet are not on camera, I can wear these like super comfortable sneakers, and it just made life so much easier.
Which I was admiring, and you got me as a gift.
Yeah, I got you a pair of them.
Yeah.
They are really comfy.
It makes me think of the great Owen Wilson, who I'd done a number of movies with back in the day, and he... if his feet weren't on camera, you could see him wearing a nice pair of Uggs. Yeah. Usually.
Good
or
move.
flip-flops or, just barefoot.
It's a great move.
Also, by the way, they talk about the new titles in this, which is... It's great that they gave us an explanation to why they changed the titles. Like, from a creative aspect, you can kind of see why they would change the titles. Because it makes sense. Like, season 1, these are references to season 1 and to the story, and then you want to... Season 2 shifts its story and the focuses of everything. So it makes sense that they'd want to then make a title sequence that then pairs well with each element of that story. And I'm glad they did. I'm glad they added in the things like the little baby Keir and the hands coming through the opening up the back of the head at the end of the title sequence, like the hallway through the face part of it. And it very much blends well with some stuff that we do see much later that I can't tell you about. But when we get into episode 7, I believe it is, that there are elements in that storyline that I was utterly blown away by. It is one of my favorite episodes, but there are visual cues in there. There are visual things that I often say there are symbolic things in shots that they've done this for a certain reason because it means something, or maybe it's just to look good, but sometimes they do it for a specific reason. They'll highlight a point in the shot for a very specific reason. Well, in episode 7, they very much do that, and I explain it, and I'm 99% sure that is exactly... I haven't obviously heard the podcast for that, but I'm 99% sure that is exactly the reason why they chose those shots. And a couple of you have said that they think that I was right about the reason why they chose those shots to be like that. But again, I can't spoil it. You will love it if you love filmmaking and gorgeous cinematography, you will love that, and it's a great story. But anyway, so this isn't episode 7, this is episode 2. So yeah, but yeah, they also talk about Oliver. So the guy, I'm so sorry I've forgotten the name of his Instagram handle, but his real name is Oliver. He's the guy that designed the title sequence. In series 1, I make mention of him and the whole creative process that I think I include segments of the podcast where they're talking about finding Oliver and him starting the work on the title sequence. and I include some like imagery from his Instagram, etc. I won't do that here. I will just play this podcast segments, but go back to that and feel free to check him out. The reason they used the balloons in the first episode was apparently a slight reference to the balloons being in the end credit sequence of season 1.
As time was going by, I was thinking, looking at the opening credits, which we all love, and they were created by Oliver Latta, who's a German artist who works with the computer, and Teddy Blanks, who works in New York, who does the graphics part of it, but the computer animation is Oliver Latta. And it was so, in a way, specific to season 1, even though it was created not with specific nods to necessarily story points, but images and different settings, that it felt to me that there was an opportunity as time was going by, as we were making the season. I thought, well, people are going to have waited a while for season 2. Yeah. It might be fun to have something else new for them as well. Yeah. And Oliver, I talked to him and he was totally up for it. I mean, he won an Emmy for that. It's the first title sequence he ever did. He And
do you want to talk about how you found Oliver?
I happened upon his Instagram feed, but he, just had this incredible computer animation of these sort of amorphous blobs of humanoid forms that fall into one another and kind of bubbles, and the texture of it. It's just something incredibly captivating and satisfying watching his work.
It really feels like nothing else you see out there animation-wise. It feels very singular.
Yeah, and so it was just like one day on the way to work, I saw it and thought, oh wow, this could be really cool for the show. Yeah. Oliver, first time I met him was at the Emmys, actually, when he won his Emmy.
Really? In person, you'd never...
He came to LA for the Emmys and for the and the after party where, we lost 12 of our 14.
Yes, I remember.
But he won. He and Teddy Shapiro won, and both very deservedly.
Well-deserved,
yeah. And so it was great to meet him there. He's a young guy. He's super talented, and it was just a great connection that he had with the show. And it ended up informing, in a way, imagery for season 2. I mean, when you look at you carrying those balloons in episode 1, for me, that came out of his balloon image.
Is that right?
That he did in the credits for season 1.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I mean, just in my mind, I was like, that it just made me think of that. So in that way, it was fun to think about, okay, what could it be for season 2 that is maybe more specific and has more Easter eggs and more little nods to the season that people might not even appreciate until the season is over, and they look back at it.
Right.
And that was a fun process with him. And first one took about 8 or 9 months, and this one, the same thing. And it's been really fun, exciting, a little bit scary on my end because I know people love the season 1 credits so much. But it seems like people have been responding to the season 2 one.
I love these ones. I also love it because other characters find their way into the opening credits now.
Yes.
And remember, they were getting kind of the images. Everyone had to go and get their kind of the scan that I had to do for season 1.
Yeah, 3D scan where they take pictures of you with like hundreds of still cameras, and then he can recreate your image.
Yeah.
Do you have a favorite image from the credits?
From season 1, I really love the balloons with the heads. And it's so funny that it didn't even occur to me that that's where the balloons with the faces on them came from, was from the opening credits from season 1.
Yeah, it's not really a direct line. But it's just an image in there. For me, for the season 2 credits, one of the things that I really love is you jumping off of the desk, little you jumping off the desk, and then instead of going into the head that it does in season 1, it goes into a painting of your head in season 1.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And there are other nods to episodes as they go along, as I said, that we can get into maybe as we go along too.
And the ending of the opening credit sequence is super interesting too.
Yes, when you see like a little baby Kier kind of crawling by.
Yes.
Milchick riding a motorcycle, by the way. Apparently it's a Royal Enfield that they then adapted to be how they want it to be in the show itself. But him actually riding a motorcycle is apparently a spare of the moment decision that they just happened upon one night. They were just talking. It was, I think Ben Stiller said it was Dan Erickson and Ben Stiller were talking about what they should do. I think that's who he said it was. Might have been Adam Scott and Ben Stiller, but I think it was Dan Erickson and Ben. I'll play you the clip in a minute, but they were talking about how they created it, and it was just a spare of the moment, just got kind of like on a whim, because I thought it'd be really fun for Milchick to ride a motorcycle. So yeah, I'll play you the clip.
Trammell is just so great. I mean, just this whole episode of him riding around on the motorcycle. What is that motorcycle? Was there a particular motorcycle you really wanted Milchick to be riding?
It was an idea that Dan and I discussed. I remember when it came up, it was just, it was an idea that came up at one of the events when we were in Los Angeles for season 1, when we were all together. And I remember I said to Dan one night, I said, like, wouldn't it be cool if Milchick rode a motorcycle? And he was like, yeah, I like that. And then it was sort of like, then it went from there. And it just seemed to me like that we've talked a lot. And this came out of really what Dan's idea of Milchick's outer life is, which we have yet to see. So this is a little glimpse into like what his personal style is, right? Yeah. And what his vibe is in the outside world. And he's kind of a cool guy, it seems, who rides a motorcycle. And yeah, the motorcycle itself is a Royal Enfield, but we customized it. But that's the make of the bike.
By the way, just on the whole thing, I won't play the clip again, obviously, because I've done it. But the whole thing on the intercom thing that we hear, where we hear the conversation from the outside perspective, instead of when it was said in the office. It's great because we see how disconnected that outside world is from the innies world, and how different it is. Like I was saying, with the cold, calculated, clinical look, it feels just, there's such a lack of emotion. It just shows how disconnected that is to anything else. Oh, they bring up a good point, by the way. Cobell said in an earlier episode about Mark getting away from them, meaning Lumon, I believe. And then in this episode, she's not giving in any information. She's not giving in to giving Mark any explanation or any information when she's confronted by him at the house. But she's almost siding with Lumon by the way she doesn't say things and the way she does reply with things. And because she's not giving anything away, it's kind of intriguing. I thought that while I was watching the episode, and then they kind of mention it in this, so I wanted to make mention of that as well. Also, fun little fact, they make mention of the Mighty Ducks in this, and I made mention of the Mighty Ducks, weirdly, in my Bad News Bears video in 1976 that I put out only a little while, not too long ago.
And we really don't know what her agenda is. So then when you say, do you know something about Gemma? It's like where that scream comes from. It's obviously part frustration, part anger, we don't know what it is, but.
Yeah, I mean, there are cracks in her loyalties and in her armor that we saw. The last thing she said to me in episode 9 was, get away from them, whispered it in my ear. And so her not answering and holding the company line when I ask her some of these questions is super interesting.
Yeah, it almost feels like she knows something that she's not telling you.
Yeah, and Mark sort of derives quite a bit from this.
Yeah, and then she just lets out the primal scream.
Okay, I was just about done adding things to this video, and then I remembered, because just after I played that last clip, just after that moment in the podcast, they then play the segment of Miss Cobell screeching away in her car, screaming. And it then reminded me of the very thing that I saw in the episode that I don't know, did you guys hear this? Is it just me? I think I may mention it when I did the reaction itself. But I'm vaguely sure, and I can't find evidence of this, like from any of the people. I haven't done a huge deep dive on, finding this information out, but I can't find anything specifically on the official route, and nothing's mentioned in the podcast itself. But the audio of Miss Cobell's scream sounds like they add in a cat scream, screech type thing as well. I'll play it for you in a second, but it also then sounds like they also add in the Wilhelm scream the sort of 3/4 of the way mark into her scream. Is it just me hearing things? Am I just hearing this cat scream thing? And then the Wilhelm scream in there? But the Wilhelm screams was such a unique sound. If you don't know what the Wilhelm scream sounds like, this is what it sounds like. See? Right? Obviously, I'm not hearing anything myself, but you're hearing it in the edit. And then, if I can find a very similar cat screech, I will add in here. So this is what they have in the episode itself. Let me know, please, down below, if you are thinking the same thing. I mean, it's probably just a great little, like hidden sound effect, Easter egg type stuff in there. And I love that they added the Wilhelm scream in there if they did, and the cat screech. I think it really does add to the audio, and it adds that kind of surreal off sound to it. Like the cat screech is eerie. Like they use it a lot in horror, and when they're trying to add little sound effects in to make things seem a bit off and weird and creepy. But also it adds ambience and atmosphere to something. I don't know, maybe it's just me.
Maybe I'll give this thing a shot. I transferred for my second year to USC Film School. That's where I met Ben Burt. Ben lived in New York, so when he went to go home from USC, he would drive. So he would listen to old movies. He recognized the Wilhelm scream. The earliest film that we had noticed it was Charge at Feather River. There was a character in there, one of the troopers, whose name was Wilhelm. So we just called it the Wilhelm scream. We would tell our friends about it. So other people started using it because they thought it was fun too.
Anyway, that's all for the podcast review. And now let's head back in to end the episode.
Hopefully you guys can join me next time for another episode of Severance. And of course, again, if you want to see the full uncut reaction to this, you can see it over on the Patreon page or as a YouTube member. Liking the video helps me and the channel. It lets YouTube know that you like this kind of thing. And also subscribing to the channel as well keeps you up to date with newer things like the new episodes of Severance. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Hope you have an amazing day. Take care, stay safe, and hopefully I get to see you guys next time. Bye-bye.
If you're still here to the very end, then thank you so much, and also a huge thank you to my wonderful patrons: Roger C. Griffith, Douglas Collier, Terry V, Miggy Love, Chris Holmes, Jojo, Thomas Masters, Shoehorn1234, Res, Patrick Durr, Andrew Blount, Carlos, Marla Mize, Rob, Chandra Blair, Scott, Paul Zawicki, Randy, Kirsten, Juan Pablo Camero, JL, Maggie, Freya Alexandra, Milo, Miranda, Edna, Gina Aman, Tess Avaland, Olivia, Maria Stoicheva, Neno, Megan Janoviak, Rainy Tomo, Strawberry Tree, Kirsten Bailey, Boobly Boo, Louise Vanderhoven, Aubrey Terry, Wraithist, Heidi Steele, City D, Bumblebee, Joshua, Jesse, Rena Burra, Meat, Lolita Verbakovskia, Eli, Holly Jeffries, Alenka Hafner, HM Garth, Chloe Grover, Neb, Kyle Baker, Abby Barker, Tom Tattershall, Kristen Olds, Tillychum, Laura Hutchison, Tara M. Wilcoxon, Sazzy Nation, Ferdinand Pitchard, Jim McKay, Sphere, Mel Days, Fran in the Pen, BG, Tara, Rags and Muffins, Nameless Human Being, Deb, Philippa Chapman, Emily, Panda, David Wayne Fox, Jessica Asakovich, Sue Pro, Naja and Workshop, Mike Tunnicliffe, Wolfgang Wolf, Lee, Harvey, Ankame, Aninya, Evan G, Violet Aurora, Pamela Chandler Rash, Scott Howard, Joshua, Robert Williams, Steve Webster, Amanda, Lipaz, Jamie Dodds, King, Happy Go Lucky, Caitlin, Analytical Guy, Maria Torres, Cliff Adams, Jonathan, Dirk, Annie Bonds, Crystal Appleby, Scorpius, Monica Murphy, Sebastian St-Ange, Varga, Leslie McKittrick, Nick Stark, Number 1 Carez, Jen, Biff McKeldin, Birgit, Stephanie Collins, Emily, Ken Duncan, Max, Helena Klitsch, Amy Quattlebaum, Ry Levi, Wayne DeFries, JJ, Mikhail Augustine Reed, Malcolm Hope, Lee Hallam, Bill Waite, Charlie Elkin, Mika Least, Jeffrey Welton, Alida Scope, George, Ingrid, Stephanie Sexton, Jude, Bera, Rubinio GD, Catherine Ellis, Vincent Pare, Sammy Fan, Eric Jansen, David K, Stephen, Edcat, MB8, Border Collie Lover 223, Caitlin, Juiced, The Gallifreyan Rebel, James, Johnny115, Tim,
Paul Hess, Frank Tex, Marie Clark, Robin, Matt Quinn, Offerrock, Bruce Heckerman, Joe, Victoria Helm, James Melton, Beatrice Soiler, Siegfried, Clara Grow-Louis, Lana Gorgeous, David Stafford, Rebecca K. McDowell, Ashley Stanley, Sophia, Fabian, Paul Byrne, Bear, Nadia, Chris Thompson, Erin Milieu, Kate Wheeler, Janet Rose Ashley, Alex, Tyler, Just a Little Tired, Shud Bruxelles, David Holton, Lisa Lovett, and Liviu Oana. If you'd like to see more videos, there's some more on the screen right now. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and see you next time.